Right.
Order. The Mayor.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sit down.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending the last full council meeting of the 19th of April. First item on the agenda is the evacuation procedure. There is a location plan of the exits and the assembly point situated on the doors of the room. Please familiarise yourselves with it. On discovering a fire, please carry out the following: sound the alarm, attack the fire if possible and safe to do so using the appliances provided. On hearing the evacuation signal, please carry out the following: exit the building by your nearest, safest exit. All visitors to report to Assembly Point G, all staff to report to their designated assembly point on Woolpack Way car park. Do not leave the assembly point for any reason until told to do so by the incident controller or the fire brigade officer. Agenda item number 2 is apologies for absence. Members away on official council business.
There are 2 apologies from councillors Moss and Les Smith.
At this point, I'd like to invite anybody that'd like to say anything as regards retiring councillors or present.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Wright. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a great shame that Councillor Les Smith was planning on attending tonight, but unfortunately his partner is not well at all. So that's the reason. So, and as everybody's aware, Councillor Smith is retiring after 40 years on this council. So he will be, a great loss. I'm sure we'll see him. Hopefully when they're making, we might invite some of the retiring councillors to give them thanks properly. I'd also like to mention Councillor Brian Moss, who, again, a very long-serving councillor. I'm pleased to say that he was he's ended his term of office on our side of the fence. But again, he'll be a great loss. Councillor Moss, as everybody, both borough and county councillor, served his time particularly well. And he will be a great loss, retiring as everybody's aware due to ill health. Councillor Judy MacDonald is also retiring. So many thanks to Judy. You've got a new life and down in Hereford now. So thank you for your time. And I would also, whilst it's not an apology, I'd like to welcome back Councillor Singh after his extended period of illness. It's really nice to see Councillor Singh back. I will mention for political balance, Councillor Chambers. I'll mention you. There you go. I know we've had our spats, shall we say, Councillor Chambers, but I enjoy them, and I will miss you. So all the best for your retirement. And Councillor Jane Farrow, you're retiring, are you? I'm McLaughlin, sorry.
They look the same.
Yeah. So I'll mention again, Councillor McLaughlin. We haven't had a great deal of business together, but thank you from me. So I don't think I've missed anybody, but thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Councillor Gosling.
Tony,
Oh, sorry, Councillor Marion.
David Humphries did give his apologies for tonight. You gave them in earlier.
Oh, all right, thank you, Councillor Gosling.
Thank you. Just to echo, before I go on, Mike Osborne, Councillor Mike Osborne also sends his apologies. He's not retiring. Well, thank you for the obvious appreciation of Councillor Osborne will be touched, I'm sure. It's obviously we're on different sides of an argument a lot of the time, but at the end of the day, I think everybody in here is dedicated and committed to helping our communities, whichever side of the chamber we sit on. And I just think a huge thank you to the service that people have done. We are going to be hugely indebted to Anne and Jackie personally, and wish them very well, but also to the other councillors who are retiring tonight. You've done, stepped up and done things for your community, and it is a good thing to do and appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gosling. Councillor Hayfield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to add to the commendations on Les Smith, because 20 years ago he was my deputy for 2 terms, and at a time when the council was shifted from 20 odd years of Labour control and just gone into Conservative control, and his wisdom and his support was absolutely of enormous help to me. I think he served on every committee apart from planning. He always said he never wanted to serve on planning, and I don't think Mark he ever did. He not even a guest appearance. He was on that. But just about every other aspect of the council, he played a major part over the years. So he hasn't been as sort of fit and able in the last year or two as he used to be, obviously. But his contribution here has been enormous.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hagan. Councillor Simpson. I said it slowly on purpose. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, it's always charming when someone remembers your name.
Yes.
And again, I have to say, I'm really always aware when I follow Councillor Hayfield, because you're never quite sure what. But Mr. Mayor, I just thought I think this is one of the saddest council meetings in the year, if not the saddest, because it's all but a time to say goodbye to a lot of colleagues, a lot of people that we've all worked with well. And I think it's important to remember that over the last 4 years, despite the fact we have had our differences on occasion, the council as a whole has achieved a lot for the residents of North Warwickshire. That's not intended to be a political comment. It's the fact that actually there is more that joins us together than drives us apart. There is more that we work on together and more that we have collectively delivered. We're still one of the highest performing authorities in the country, despite our diminutive size. And that is a testament to all the men and women in this room and the men and women who work hard for the authority in its employ. So I think tonight is a great opportunity to say thank you all, friends and colleagues. Thank you very much indeed, Chief Executive and all of the employees and officers of the authority who instinctively put in more than they're paid for. It's important. Yeah, we do this voluntarily. There are an awful lot of people outside who do it for a job and do it extremely well. I will be really sorry to see those members who are voluntarily retiring. I am sure at the end of the month I'll be equally sorry to see members who are not voluntarily retiring. But I echo what Councillor Gosling said. It's important that we have a vibrant democracy and that we have a lot of people who voluntarily do this and deliver for their community. It's what sets democracies apart from tyranny. The fact that people are prepared to get out and do something to help their fellows, their neighbours, without any expectation or hope of reward for it. It's been a great pleasure serving the community with all of you. I I may not be coming back myself. That's in the hands of a bunch of other people. But if I'm not, Councillor Chambers, I might get a bike and join you coming up and down the road. But
We're a bigger engine.
I'm getting there before Hayfield is. But thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Well done. Right. Oh, sorry, Councillor Chambers.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I couldn't let the tribute that Councillor Wright has paid to me go unresponded to. So I would, Mr. Mayor, like to just say a few words about my 8 years as a borough councillor, representing the people of Dordon, and what it's been like, because it has been a great honour. I must admit that when I stood for re-election in 2019, and we realised about this time, but slightly later when the count was going on, that we hadn't actually been elected and to take up a position of being in control of this borough council, that it did, that feeling that came over me was a bit like that old song that my dad used to sing. My Uncle Frank used to play the honky tonk piano to the accompaniment. It was why am I always the bridesmaid and never the blushing bride? But it has been a privilege, and particularly I've welcomed the opportunity to serve the people of Dordon. It's a village with a very warm heart and a very generous community spirit. It's a village which, as you all know, faces some real challenges in the years ahead, but it's a village that will continue to fight for its survival and for some improvements in terms of what it wants to see as a local community. And I, for one, felt personally that it was time for someone fresh and with energy to represent that village, and that is why I am standing down this time and won't be standing for re-election. I have enjoyed being part of the boards and of the working groups to which I've contributed, and I have enjoyed working very much on a party basis where it's been possible to do so. I'm not sure I really have understood the world of local government and party politics, and I probably still don't, although I was particularly kitted out for it, despite my experience with the Spats. But I would like to say that I think, in terms of the future, that as a council, for the communities that we represent, it seems to me that we work best when we are prepared to listen to one another, when we have respect for one another, and when we have some common goals that we're working towards, when that's possible. So I have many good memories. I won't go over all of them. I'm sure you'll be glad to know. But I think the one that I would like to just refer to was the experience I had, and we all had, as part of this council, when under the leadership of our chief executive and our officers, we had to respond to the COVID pandemic. And the way in which this council responded was so quickly and with such urgency and magnificently, in my view, to the COVID pandemic, the way it supported the most vulnerable people throughout those frightening times which went on for many months. And the way it actually transformed itself, almost like a hydra, it turns itself inside out to provide and host a public health response. And even this building became the centre of COVID vaccine rollout on a mass scale. And who could ever forget that bizarre meeting that we had in the Memorial Hall, surrounded by plastic screens and hand gels, when we couldn't hear a word what anybody was saying, including ourselves. So, there are some really good memories that I shall certainly cherish. But it was an example, in my view, of the real potential of local government to be effective and to respond to the needs of local people when it's focused and committed to doing so. I would like to pay particular thanks to my fellow councillor, Pete Mawson, who, when he saw these, he said, shorten it. He has always provided me with very wise counsel over the years, right from the beginning. To all my colleagues on the Labour group, and in particular Councillor Josling, who's had to put up with more than her fair share of those late night emails probably more than Steve's had actually, but anyway, thank you.
Anytime.
And I would like to thank all the senior officers who always seem to be there for me, to be very responsive, and particularly at times when you most need them. I'd also like to pay tribute to some of the unsung heroes. I think they're slightly mentioned by Councillor Hayfield, that the people that keep this building absolutely sparkling and clean and greet people with a cheerful face. I've been in many public sector buildings in my life, and I can honestly say that this building is kept to a standard of which this council can rightly be proud. And I would like to say that to all of those that do that. I have felt supported and welcomed by everyone here. And many of you from both sides of the chamber have reached out with words of encouragement and advice over the years, and it has become a kind of home. So I'm sure that those of you that do survive this next election and come back will equally welcome the new councillors that arrive here. And I'm sure our paths will cross, because as you may know, if I do get re-elected, I'm standing for the Addiston Town Council for a second term. I'm sure that our paths may cross, or perhaps the better word is intersect. Thank you, Councillor North. That final triumphant, because I know you're retiming me, were you? Anyway, this is my final goodbye to all of you as a borough council. So thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you. Very well said. Thank you. Anybody else? No? No? Well, we'll move on then. Thank you very much. Okay, item 4 on the agenda. The Mayor to move in accordance with Standing Order number 6 that the minutes of the meetings of the Council held on the 22nd of February and the 21st of March 2023 be approved as a correct record.
I'll move.
Have a second now? Councillor Jarvis, all those in favour? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, we've gone past item 3. We ought to just check if there are any questions.
Oh,
I can't imagine there will be, but
It's going quick.
okay. Any prejudicial interests? Anybody? No?
that's all right.
No?
Thank you.
Okay. I thought I'd said that.
Councillor North is very interested in Twilight Zone.
That's where I come from.
Okay, and item 5 is to receive the Mayor's announcements. Well, this is an unusual one. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to present a cheque for £1,125.50 to North Warwickshire Veterans Contact Point. The Veterans Contact Point is an honourable charity organisation that works to assist our brave veterans who served for our country, gives them support they need and when needed. To find them jobs financially, or just someone to talk to who has been in a similar situation as themselves. As all the veterans knowing the sacrifices they made, it's our duty to help. The Veterans Contact Point is a truly deserving organisation and deserves all our respect. As a veteran myself, this was my chosen charity. At this point, I would like to thank all councillors who helped me raise this amount. I would also like to invite Mr. Tam Webster, who is in the audience there, who is also a volunteer from the organisation, to accept the cheque on their behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, officers, fellow councillors, join me in thanking him for running the organisation that our veterans can visit only for a tea and a chat. Okay, Mr. Webster. Right. Yeah. Well, I nearly signed it. Looks like it must consider.
No. I didn't believe this. I did walk into a door. No, I on my card.
She wouldn't short the speech.
Oh, no, I was going to do it at the end. I'm doing it at the end. Next. Oh.
You've left it on the seat.
Right.
Chris has gone.
Straight.
Right. I'll wait till he comes back. Sorry. Oh, okay, right. I'm going to carry on then. We're going to move to item 6. Obviously to answer questions from the members of the public, and I believe there aren't any. So we'll move on to item number 7. To receive and consider the minutes and rates of the meetings of the Planning and Development Board on the 6th of March and the 3rd of April 2023. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It just goes to show, doesn't it? You get to the end of the council's life, and it is only at that point that you realise that Mr. Maxey's job is actually chief photographer. It gives me great pleasure for the last time in the life of this council, Mr. Mayor, to move that the minutes and notes of the meetings of the Planning and Development Board held on the 6th of March and 3rd of April be received.
Thank you. Okay, that's pages.
Is that seconded?
Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Denise Clues. So we're going to move to page 196, 197, 198, 199, 200, 201, 202. Councillor Hancock.
I just wanted to say a quick note and thank you to the planning board. I didn't make the Monday meeting, but the Polesworth Club application, it'd been deferred. A special mention to Councillor Parsons, who has obviously been involved in that and helped within that. And I would like to thank the councillors who rejected the application. It was a big thing to the residents of Polesworth, and I think that we decided the right thing. So to everybody who was involved in that, I do thank them.
Thank you very much. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That application was certainly a significant contentious one, and I think the board responded in the right way by its initial deferrals, having meetings with the applicants and the residents, and generally listening to what both the applicant and the objectors had to say. I think we made the right decision, but who will know where that will go. But, you know, I think our members on the board and the officers of the planning board responded professionally and diligently to a difficult decision that they had to make.
Councillor Clues.
Did I say an item? Sorry, it was on that. I'm sorry, but okay. Sorry.
Councillor Clues, next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if this is quite the right place, but being as this is, as Councillor Simpson said, one of the last ones, I'd just like it noted to say thank you to Jeff, as he has always accepted me as being the tree hugger. I know sometimes he pulls the face when I walk through the door, but he has always been respectful of how I feel about saving our trees out there. I'd just like it noted, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Clues. Councillor Dervix.
No, sorry,
Did you want
same
to-
item, but which Councillor Simpson's already summed up. on.
Oh, okay.
The councillor Simpson said, I just wanted to.
Okay, no one else?
Simpson to
Okay,
reply
so
to-
we got to 2
Simpson to reply to Councillor Clues if he wishes to.
Right.
I'm having to work harder tonight, Mr Mayor, than I have for 7 years. I'd just like to reassure Councillor Clues, Mr Brown doesn't put a face only when you walk in. He has a face for most of us. But genuinely, Jeff Brown works extremely hard. All of our planning officers work extremely hard. But, the hours he puts in is legendary. And, when I go and talk to him about somewhere which I think is out the way, round the corner, behind a few trees that no one's seen, he knows it, he's been there, he understands it. So I will certainly pass your comments on. But yes, tree hugger, and you're very welcome for all of that. We've got a lot of trees and we need to look after them, and you've done a diligent job at that, as have a lot of other members.
Yeah.
But let's keep the trees.
And I'm also aware that he's got about 1,500 days holiday, hasn't he? But he never takes on. Okay. Okay, then we got to 201, 202, 203, and 204. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was waiting for Councillor Derwitz to find a slim peg upon which to hang his hook, but
I decided that at this point in the proceedings, everybody's heard it before. I think you're complaining that the chip shop's closed.
well, given that, Mr. Mayor, I beg to move that the minutes of the Planning and Development Board presented before the authority this evening be adopted.
Thank you.
All those in favour? Thank you. Right. So moving on to the Resources Board, on the 13th of March 2003, Councillor Simmons.
I move that the minutes of the Resources Board held on the 13th of March be received.
Seconded.
Thank you. That's page 205 and 206. Councillor Simmons.
And 207.
Was it 207?
Briefly. but 207.
Oh, sorry, 207, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to be adopted.
Seconded.
Thank you. Before we go to the vote on that, I just wanted, while I'm stood up, I just wanted to make sure that everyone had met Jane and welcome Jane Heppel to our council. We met with her earlier on this evening, but I obviously met her before interview, and I really am confident that whoever's in this position after May the 4th will be very well supported by Jane and the finance team.
Thank you. So it's been, sorry, Councillor Mawson.
Vote, isn't it, then?
Sorry?
It goes to a vote.
Oh, I was just about to say that. I thought you wanted to speak then.
No.
So all those in favour? Thank you.
Couldn't anyway, so no.
Okay. Okay, item number 10. Oh, sorry, item number 9. To receive the minutes of the Safer Sub, and I believe it's Councillor Jarvis.
Okay, Mr. Mayor. I'll ask the minutes of the Safer Community Subcommittee meeting on the 16th of March 2023 are received.
Have a second? Councillor Parker. 209. Oh, sorry. It's just 208. Yep, 208.
And adopted.
And all those second on that? Okay, Councillor Bell, all those in favour? Thank you. Right. Item number 10, to receive and consider the minutes of the notes of the meeting of the exec board. Councillor Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. I move that the minutes of the executive board held on the 21st of March of this year be received.
Seconded.
Thank you. Page 209. to 10. That's it, Councillor Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I now move that the minutes of the aforementioned minutes be adopted.
Second that. Councillor Simmons, Tipton. All those in favour? Thank you. Nearly said it. Nearly said it.
It's the system.
Wouldn't be the same would it, if I didn't say that.
Bigger glasses.
I wouldn't be the same if I didn't say it again, but right. Okay. Item number 11. To receive and consider the minutes of the notes of the meeting of the Community Environment Board. Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the minutes of the Community Environment Board 27th of March 2023 be received.
Councillor Parker seconded. Page 211. Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to thank the team on the responses we get to the fly tipping part on this page, item number 40. The responses from Streetscape, they're out within 24 hours normally to clear up any messes. We've introduced new cameras in the hotspot areas. We are planning to introduce more cameras, and I just want to thank the team also for investing in those that are already proving to provide results. So on the offset of actually having to go out and clean it up, it's a minimal offset, and hopefully throughout the next term we can deter more and more people from using this area as dumping ground. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Parker. Councillor Clues.
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to thank the chair and whoever was involved. I've seen our new Scarab, but I believe it's going to be called a different name now. It was going up Sheepy Road, and the comments that I've had back from locals think it's absolutely brilliant that this thing is back out. And I believe now it's going to be a more healthier version to get round to the rest of our community. So thank you to that board.
Thank you. Councillor Chambers.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank Councillor Bell for one of the recommendations that came out of our discussion at the Community and Environment Board, which was that we should, or the future council should hold a thorough and comprehensive survey of residents' views of the waste recycling centre and ensure that those results are fed back to the county council. The challenge of opening this up as a facility for the drop-in appears to have been refused thus far, and we have a booking system that is still in place after the COVID pandemic. But I think a survey of residents' views will help with some of the borough's views on this particular issue.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Councillor Chambers. Okay.
Councillor Bell to respond.
Oh, no, have I got to the end of that?
No, just on those points.
Oh, on the yeah, okay.
Thank you very much for your comments, everybody. On the fly tipping, absolutely. We know that it's an issue across our borough, and it's an issue everywhere, but across our borough. And I'm really pleased with the investment we're making and the progress we're making on the type of equipment that we're using to make it really difficult for people to avoid the cameras. They're now artificial intelligence cameras, everything goes up to the cloud. So we really started to make an impact, and we will be investing more. So thank you very much for your comments on that. On the Scarab, I'll still call it that, Councillor Clues, whatever. Yes, it's really good to see it out and about, or them out and about. You've got more than one now. And I have asked, and I know we'll be getting it, to have a timetable of where it's going to be across the borough, so that we can all say to our residents, or it'll be our turn next week or whenever it is. So it'd be really helpful to know that. So thanks very much to Kath and the team for getting that underway. And on the survey on the waste recycling centres. Yes, thank you for the suggestion in the Community Environment Board, and we've taken it on board. I think it's really important that we get our residents' views on this. I don't want to anticipate what those views will be, but we need to get to everybody somehow. We're very aware of the fact that it may be the people that can't access the internet or email that have got the strongest views about having to book online. And so we've got to find a way of getting this survey out to everybody who might have a view on this, so that we can collate it together and go back to the county with a really clear idea of what the people of North Warwickshire want on these terms. So thank you for the suggestion, and we're really pleased to take it on board. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, councillor Bell. Okay, page 212 and 213, councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I move that these minutes be adopted.
Second, councillor Parker. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Okay. Item number 12, to receive the notice of motion under standing order number 10. And item 13, to authorise the Chief Executive in accordance with Article 1105 of the Articles of the Constitution to sign and seal on behalf of the Council any orders, deeds and documents necessary to give effect to any resolution of the Council, including any passed during part of the meeting which is held in private.
Move.
Seconded? Item 14, exclusion of public and press. To consider in accordance with section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, where it is in the public interest that the public and press be excluded from the meeting from the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined by Schedule 12A to the Act. Moved. Second. All those in favour? Okay, thank you.